This is Malaya. Let me be your guide now.
Hello everyone, today I had great pleasure to speak with Ting. She's the author of Gen Z Secrets.
Hi there, Ever. Thank you for inviting me to have this opportunity to be on this platform and to share some words with the community.
I'm very curious. Can you share a little bit more about how you became author of this interesting Gen Z Secrets, and maybe a little bit more about your story and background?
Okay, sure. So for me, everyone, my name is Ting. And so recently I have just launched an ebook which is called Gen Z, the You Think Revolution. So here's a little bit story and background about myself, how this really all gets started. So I think I will first start off with a little bit about my background. So I call myself really fortunate to be born in a family of both educators and entrepreneurs. So since young, I kind of get the exposure of being about entrepreneurship. And my dad actually plays a huge role in terms of shaping the thinking and the mindset. So, but however, that does not mean that, I start off life different from anyone else. I go through the usual path. I went to university, I graduated, and then I went to the corporate world. So I worked for a few years in a corporate world. And one day I just asked myself, do I want to do this for the rest of my life? And I realized I don't find the excitement in doing what I do every day. So then there's when I start to think, I don't want to put myself in the system, and I don't want to do something that just because the system is there and I have to follow what it is. So I begin to search for, what makes me excited. I begin to ask myself, what makes me excited? And so I realized that I find joy in bringing ideas to life. So, and the fact that, I grew up in entrepreneurs, in a family of entrepreneurs, the background shouldn't be an entitlement. Then I started to feel like, if your family is employees, it doesn't mean that you can't be an entrepreneur. It's a lot about, being exposed, having the exposure to the environment. And so then there's when I started to think that, I want to empower people with the mindset that the privilege that I have and the knowledge that I have from my dad. So I wanted to empower people with that mentality and with the mindset. So that's how my first baby, which was my first startup, which is called Kidzstarter, was born. So Kidstarter is it's actually an education platform where I want to empower kids to make them feel empowered, and I want them to believe that their voice matter, and what they are passionate about, they have the ability to turn that into an action. So for Kidstarter, it is basically the first platform that I first started where we help kids to turn their ideas to life. And when I first started, a lot of people had a mentality that, entrepreneurship is about making money and start a business. But for me, it's about, it's more on discovering yourself along the journey. And it's about the experience that you build along the way, because that is what makes you you. So to me, entrepreneurship, it's basically a journey on, discovering who you are and finding the thing that is you are passionate about.
What wakes up you in the morning? What is your passion right now? What do you want to achieve, and what kind of impact you want to have?
So to me, right now, what I really want to achieve is I wanted to help people to bring their ideas to life. I want to help people to discover what is there, because everyone is unique. There is an inborn talent and ability that lies in every one of us. And, we are in a change generation. And I think entrepreneurship in change generation means a lot more than, just starting a business and profiting from a business. A lot has to come from our story, our own story, how we can leverage that to actually, build our own brand.
Who are the people you want to help with? Are there entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs? And can you also share a little bit more about your ebook you wrote recently?
Yes. So right now, earlier I mentioned that Kidstarter, because Kidstarter is actually a platform for kids. So with Gen Z, You Think Revolution, the ebook that I recently launched, and this is a book that basically we want to empower young adults or even adults, to help them to get inspiration from Gen Z, how Gen Z is able to monetize their personal brand And similarly, this is how the adult can do the same. So in the ebook, I'll review, some of the tips and, how can they actually start to identify, what is their talent, what is their passion, and then start to monetize their brand. And it comes to Gen Z, for this generation, there are a lot more they are talking about, they're creating their own brand and they're leveraging technology to do that. And so that is one thing that really sets Gen Z apart, because they are not afraid of creating their own brand. Previously, for the previous generation, they might be afraid of, what if I have another competitor? If I'm selling burgers, what if I have another competitor selling burgers as well? But for Gen Z, they are not afraid, because they believe that, they have a voice to share. It is through their personality that they create their own brand.
So what will be like key success factors for the Gen Z generation in order to be successful entrepreneurs?
I think they have to be, of course, one is having the desire. I would say the first ingredient is they have the desire to take the action. And second is to be passionate about what they are doing. And then the third one would be basically to share their voice to the rest of the world.
And where did you find inspiration for writing your book? You did some research, survey, interviews, or can you explain a little bit more? And what is the book all about?
Okay, so for Gen Z, so while it all started off like this year, actually, because of the pandemic and with the lockdown. So because initially with Kidzstarter, it was more of like an offline platform. So during like the pandemic, and then I was thinking like, hey, I have seen the kids, which is Gen Z, that I personally coach. They have actually they are bringing their ideas to life, and they are creating their own business and building their own brand. So what stops the older generation, well, not the older generation, but the next generation from doing the same? And so there's how I start to pen out some of the thoughts and just draw some inspiration of the current, like the Gen Zs, the current Gen Z. They are actually earning like millions of dollars, and how they do it. So this, I will cover some of the tips and some of the examples in the book as well.
Super interesting. And how did you find the difference between Generation Z in Asia and in Europe? I know you study in Europe and in the US. Is there some similarity between, or there's still cultural background very, very important for them?
I think culture background does play a part. Like, so for example, in the Asia culture background. So I would say that in general, if we put other factors as we don't consider any other factors, I think Gen Z in general, they are very technology savvy. So that is one thing there is for sure. So they rely a lot. Well, they're born with cell phones, iPad, laptop, and all those stuff. So they know how to use the technology. They know how to leverage on technology to share their voice. Whereas having said that, for culture wise, I think in Asia it's more academic based. Mm-hmm. So kids, creating their brand and stuff like that, because to them that is not their priority. Whereas in Europe and in America and Canada, I think that the culture plays a part, because everyone celebrates their individuality. So they look into the individual part of them, and they focus that what is everyone good in. So I think the culture and the education approach is a bit different in both cultures. I have been in this business for about 2 years, and for Gen Z, it is a new sub brand that I just launched this year. So currently, yes, I'm always look for people to collaborate, because we always want to work with more people, and I believe in by collaborating with people, we help each other to grow.
Okay, and for our community, how people who want to know more about you, your brand, your two businesses, how they can find you? What is the best way to contact you?
They can reach out to me either via WhatsApp, or they can reach out to me via my Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram.
Our group is all about the female entrepreneurship. So how do you see the young women or young ladies are thinking about their career in order to be entrepreneurs?
Yes, of course. So I think this is it might be a trend that we have been seeing. Like there are more and more females entrepreneurs are rising. So I believe that because the thing is when we first started, like, and I'm sure for a lot of females as well, people would think that we are better off to go find a job, you know, and find have a stable income. But for me, I think that right now, a lot of young ladies they're more independent, and therefore they want a lot more of, like, they want to have the power and the ability to create a lifestyle that they want. So, and that's why there's a reason why I think that there's a lot of female entrepreneurs that are rising in the recent years. So when I first started, I actually quit my corporate job and I started from zero and from nothing. So I will always say that although my background, my family background might build an exposure for me, but at the end of the day, it's really up to each of us to make the decision to turn your ideas. You can have an idea, but at the end of the day, it's really up to you to bring your ideas to life, to take an action to make it happen. So I would strongly encourage, everyone, if they have the dream, keep it alive, keep it burning, and constantly find ways to take action to materialize it.
Yeah, I think it's also a little bit more easier for women to start their own business because of technology. So they don't have to go to the corporate and try to deal with the many men who are on the senior level position.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, and my last question is, you are educator and you are entrepreneur. And sometimes it's difficult to keep both roles at the same time because education is coming from some experience, science, evidence. On the other side, entrepreneurship is all about trying something new and see how it's going to work. So how you combine those two in one brand?
So I would say that being passionate about what you do is really important. So, like, for me, because I like to help people to bring ideas to life, be it for kids or be it for adults, because the idea that come from you, it's unique. And I like to help people to bring the ideas to life because that just gives me the contentment. We make them make it happen, because the thing is, like, the time that we have on this earth is finite. So what we do every day matters. So if you know that there is this burning desire in you and you want to bring that to life, so I feel that it's really important that we help them by providing with the tools and a platform and build their brand.
That's a great message for the end of this interview. Thank you so much for being part of our community. We are very happy to have you, and I invite all people who are watching this video and like the content to contact C and share this video with people who you think might have benefits from. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Everett.